All right, so this is a last minute request. I did this a couple days ago on Sunday, and the home version of this went viral. So I was asked to do this again, which is to make my homemade onion rings. My homemade onion rings, and I'm gonna do that. So let's pull out the ingredients that you're gonna need, okay? I was gonna leave the salt out this time, but they asked me to keep the salt in because it's very, very, very salty. Added on top of that with kosher salt. But let me get you the ingredients anyway. So I used rice wine vinegar, okay, in order to rinse off the onions, but I didn't wash it off. I just used it to rinse off the onions because the dirt cooks with the steam of the rice wine vinegar while it's cooking in the pot. Okay? So you can use this as a de-rinser, but only for cooking when it comes to veggies like onions. Okay? So I used a little bit of this, and then I use some kosher salt, okay? And then I used these two because this is what I have left, which is seasoning salt as well as cayenne pepper. And I dosed that thing in some cayenne pepper, and I'm going to do it again too. So those are the seasonings that I used, okay? Let's grab the rest of this stuff. Gonna need a cutting board to cut up the onions, obviously. I usually only need one bowl, but I'm grabbing two. You're gonna need a clear bowl to keep the onions in. Okay? So you're gonna need one or two. I grabbed two just in case. Alright? And you're gonna need two onions because this recipe is bound to make you very, very full. You only need two onions. You literally, truly need only two onions in order to get this onion ring recipe, and it will keep you full for the rest of the day. And I only got two onions left. Be right back. I'm gonna grab the sharp tool for those of you that are old enough to, handle sharp tools. This is tell a bitch all I need is a pencil and a pad. Damn, where them real bitches at? Where them real niggas at? Pad. Slice that onion open. Slice, cut that onion. I had no idea what I was gonna make for lunch today until this was requested. I was literally either trying to get out of it or rack my brain around what to cook. So, whoever requested this, thank you. You gave me something to cook. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known what to do. Okay, so now I cut my onion rings in half. Okay, and then I am going to quarter this. I'm gonna quarter it. Sometimes I halves it, and then sometimes I quarter it, and sometimes I dice it and eat it that way diced. I never know what I'm doing. I never know what I'm doing when it comes to this, but we're gonna halves it this time. Halves. We're gonna halves it. Okay? Now, see these grinds here on the onions? I pull these apart like so. Pull them apart, and that's how you get more than one. And on one grind of a half, you can get three or more. Okay? And just throw that in a bowl. So, just pull those grinds apart, just like so. One, two. This one you can get four. That's four grinds. Four grinds, right? Just like so. And then I always throw out the center portion, because this portion, which is the center portion, because that's the bitter portion right there. That's the bitter portion. You don't want to eat that. Trust me, you don't want. No matter what you do, it doesn't take the bitterness away. You don't want to eat that. Okay? You don't want to eat that at all. So once again, take the rinds. One, two, three, four, five, and throw away the bitter